What is up, guys? I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're covering some more r/am I the butthole. If you're new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too, as it truly does help out our channel. And a massive thank you to the members of our channel. And guys, you're not going to believe this. We got 2 new members. Again, you are insane. We have Smiley Tuna and we have Coffeeville Science Girl. Thank you so much for joining. It just blows my mind. And I've got to unfortunately announce something that soon YouTube is going to be removing the poll system from videos. Don't ask me why. I don't even know why, and I can't work it out either. So we're gonna have to find some alternative way to do this. I know loads of you like interacting with the channel, and I love it too. So I don't know whether I use an external voting system. Would that work for you, or would that annoy you having to go off-site to do it? Or I create a template in the pinned comment that you can copy and paste, and then you can like give your votes in that format, like story 1, arsehole, story 2, arsehole, not arsehole, that sort of thing. Let me know your thoughts on that, or if you have another idea, and we will try to implement something as soon as possible. And with all that being said, let's get in to today's stories. Much love, guys. Our first story comes from I am Sam 23231. Am I the arsehole for telling my parents I have no plans to be involved in my unborn sibling's life, and I think they are wrong for having another kid at their age? I'm a 21-year-old college student currently stuck at home due to the viral pandemic. Both me and my sister, 19 years old, moved back in when our dorms closed and plan to leave back for school in fall, if the colleges reopen. The problem here comes from the fact that this week our parents, mum is 45 and dad is 53, decided to drop on us that mum is 3 months pregnant. Suffice to say, the situation is strange. I didn't dare ask, but my guess is that this isn't a whoopsie child. The thing that really caused the issue though, was not only are they planning on carrying the kid to term, they have slowly started hinting over the week that they are expecting me and my sister to stay nearby and be a brother and sister and help them out with this kid. Ignoring the fact that my parents are already past middle age, this will not work at all. I graduate next year and most likely move into the other side of the US, or even out of the country. I interned last summer in Germany and plan to apply to a company there. The same applies for my sister as she wanted to move to France and work there. Both of my parents know this, yet as I've talked about this over the week, they seem like they think me and my sister need to stay close so we can be a family. Last night, this kinda came to a head. My dad started talking about my plans after college and told me about business nearby that I could apply to. I told him that I had no intent to work here because the money I could make in other places is much better. We talked about this for a while before he dropped, "You know it would be hard for you to be a good big brother if you live so far away, right?" This was the last straw for me, honestly, and I bluntly told him that I really didn't care and I had no real intent to be in this kid's life. This was the wrong thing to say. Me and him started arguing and eventually my mum and sister got pulled in. I told my parents that it's incredibly selfish of them to not only expect me and my sister to drop our plans for them and this kid, but to also bring a kid into this world and raise it at their ages. My mum broke down at this and my dad started yelling, claiming that I'm extremely selfish and childish and that I'm horrible for shaming them like this. They've been avoiding me since the fight outside of my mum crying to me today about how much I'm hurting them. I just got a call from my aunt calling me all sorts of names including arsehole. She says that I'm causing my mum and dad a ton of stress and that I owe them to be there for my sibling. I don't know how I'm in the wrong here. I'm an adult. This is the first time I've lived at home in 2 years and I have my own life ahead of me. How am I the arsehole for just stating facts and not wanting to drop everything and plan around what I think is a mistake? Edit, since there's nearly 2k comments and I'm not going to stay up past midnight responding to everyone, I'll just put here some stuff most people want to know along with some of my personal takeaway. On the topic of why I said what I said, my relationship with my father is complicated, too much so for me to even get it into here. But my father has a mindset that he is too old to do certain things and will use this card to try and guilt me and my sister into doing things. Thus, along with a multitude of other personal reasons that have nothing to do with this post, is the reason that I decided not to come back until virus that has shut down many parts of the country forced me home. This is part of why I use their ages in my argument. I don't have anything against older parents, I just believe my parents are in a place in their lives where having a child would be a bad idea. Was this wrong of me? Probably. Will I apologise for it? Yes. However, I stand by what I said originally. I believe my parents' intentions were to have me and my sister take responsibility in some way for this child. There are reasons why I believe this, that again go into my relationship with them. This is why I reacted the way I did. Because I believe they want to use me and my sister to co-raise this child. I stand by my statement about not wanting to be involved as a big brother and accept any judgment that brings. This is something I've replied to a lot of people with already, but just to put it here for anyone else coming in. Thanks for all your opinions on the matter. It was good seeing other points of views, gave me some clarity on the matter. First, I'm going to say I don't know too much about this kind of situation, but from what I could see, I think you're not the arsehole for initially saying you're not going to be around to be the typical big brother and you've got to lead your own life. I think that's totally fair, you know. You have to lead your own life and they can't expect you to stay around and look after the child. I think that's not on. But at the same time, I don't think it's none of your business whether they bring a child into this world right now or not. I think that's totally up to them. And I think it was a bit of an arsehole move for you to say that they're too old to do so. I don't know though. You might shoot me down in flames with that one. Let me know in the comments below and don't forget to vote in that top right hand corner. Our next story comes from Federal Air. Am I the arsehole for telling my wife that our daughter doesn't get a pass just because she's a girl? I have 3 kids. The 2 oldest ones are a 14 girl and a 16-year-old boy. My wife and I have agreed in the past that the minimum expectation for our children is not about performance, but about effort in all areas of their lives. Socially, academically and athletically. All they have to do is simply give a damn about all 3 things. We don't expect excellence everywhere, just effort. Our son, for example, was prone to being very antisocial and spend his time in his room playing video games, even though he had friends in real life. It took a lot of effort on our part to get him to understand that playing video games shouldn't be a solitary activity, but a social one, and that if he wants to play, he should be doing it with friends in order to socialise. The alternative could lead to bad habits and social isolation. He still preferred to play alone, but at least he made an effort to include other people on occasion, and that's all we could ask for. We have a similar struggle with our daughter, only in the athletics department. She simply doesn't like sports and makes no effort to keep herself in shape. I get that culturally team sports like the ones our son plays don't often appeal to girls, so I've tried to push her to take up other physical active hobbies like swimming, cycling and dancing, but to no avail. My wife used to be with me on that, but she seemed to have relaxed her standards when it comes to our daughter, and this situation has only made matters worse. She says that as long as our daughter stays healthy and relatively thin, we should be happy and not push her into things that she has no interest in and isn't good at. I told her that simply keeping her thin and healthy wasn't the point and reminded her how we treated our son. He still had friends, but we pushed him into involving them in his activities so as not to build bad habits. And I told her that I feel the same for our daughter, that if she doesn't learn the importance of working out now that she's still young and impressionable, then she won't be healthy and thin for much longer. She said our daughter's habits are fine and that she's healthy, and emphasised that I shouldn't be obsessing over our daughter's body and appearance so much, because teenage girls can pick up on stuff like that easily and can develop complexes and disorders. I denied doing anything of the sort and said that I haven't once criticised her appearance, though I admitted I would if she ever got fat, and then accused my wife of double standards for our kids. She of course denied that she has double standards and accused me of being too harsh and not realising that each person is different and has different skills and interests. I told her that I won't give our daughter a pass just because she's a girl and doesn't like sports, and warned her that she better not undermine my efforts to help our daughter develop good habits that will last her a lifetime. Am I the arsehole here? Now I get teaching kids good habits is a great thing, you know, but this post just screams out to me authority that must be obeyed. I mean, it almost just sounds like it's being done just to stamp authority for no other reason really. And you're just putting pressure on them and they're going to break at some point and snap back at you. You need to teach them these good habits by finding a way that they enjoy it, not by forcing them to do something they don't want to do. It's absolutely ridiculous. So in this situation, I'm going to have to say arsehole. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below and don't forget to vote in that top right hand corner. Our next story comes from Just Some Guy 99999. Am I the arsehole for not cleaning up my butt rags? Oh god. As ludicrous as this sounds, my wife is still out on a jog after shouting herself hoarse at me. And now that the kids are doing their online schooling in the basement, I finally have some time to write this and see if what I did really warranted being screamed at. When I was growing up, my mother was very particular about teaching us to clean properly down there. We were taught that after you're done using the rag, just toss it in the corner of the shower, and my mother would pick it up while doing laundry. I understand to some people that this may seem a little strange, but it's just how things were in my house. My wife and I have been married for 11 years, and she has known about this habit of mine since we were still dating. I managed to hide it from her for the first few months, but she kept asking why I never showered at her apartment, so I eventually confessed. The look on her face was absolutely priceless. I work 60 to 70 hours a week, running my online business while she's a stay-at-home mum. So she does all the housework, minus dishes and taking out the trash. Those are the chores she hates doing the most, so I do them for her. Lately, she's been asking me to clean up my butt rags, that's what she calls them, because she's tired of having to deal with them. I told her she wants me to do laundry, which is also a daily task in our house. Instead of dishes, I can clean them up. But if not, cleaning up the shower rags are part of laundry duties. This argument has been going on for weeks now, and it all boiled over this morning after I took my shower. I came down for breakfast and my wife asked me if I cleaned up my butt rag. I told her she's planning on doing the dishes after breakfast. I'd be more than happy to take care of the laundry today. We bickered back and forth for a few minutes, and that's when our 6-year-old daughter piped up with, "I'll clean up Daddy's butt rags for you, Mummy." I burst out laughing, but my wife went ballistic. She told me I should be ashamed of myself for thinking this was funny, and got even more mad when I suggested our youngest is now old enough to start earning some money for doing chores anyway, so why not? We pay our son to do yard work, and my daughter gets paid to clean the windows, so our youngest would want to start earning their own allowance eventually, right? My wife flat out told under no circumstance will she allow our child to clean up my butt filth. New term she invented just this morning, and then she went out for a jog. She's been gone for almost an hour, and I'm getting a little worried now, but she's not responding to my texts. Am I the arsehole? Edits, I think I may have worded some of this post poorly. The shower rags are only for cleaning that specific area while I shower. I use toilet paper after going for a number 2. I do not leave poopy rags in my shower. Oh, thank God for that. This whole time I was reading this, I was thinking, what the fuck, who does this? Who the fuck chucks shitty toilet paper in the corner of the shower? My God. I'm going to read this comment, which I think stands out to me the most here. This is from Nomad DVM. I'm glad you are considerate enough to do a chore. I'm not sure why. If expected to participate in a second one, specifically related to your butt, you need to negotiate out of your other household responsibility. This fantastic comic will try to sum up how much of this crap men tend to pull. Stop expecting a medal for cleaning some dishes on occasion. Stay-at-home mum does not mean she's not working. The kids, home, life, relationship, your butthole, all part of your responsibility. When was the last time you did something that needed to be done without being asked? Do more in general and pick up the butt rags while you're at it. And that is just so true. But let me know your opinions on this story and don't forget to vote in that top right hand corner. Our next story comes from Willing Visit. Am I the arse for banning my neighbours from my backyard? So I just saw a post about fences and backyards that made me think of this. As such, here I am to see if I am the arsehole. So I own a really large piece of property right next to a nature reserve. I think that's what it's called. I'm not American, so correct me if I'm wrong. Basically, a reasonably large area specifically meant for animals and letting stuff grow without interference aside from hiking trails, of course. As a result of this, my property is essentially a part of the reserve. Not legally, but you get the idea. I specifically bought the place because I like trees, and now I essentially have my own little forest and a good portion of a little river or creek. Again, not sure what it's called, but it's basically enough water to swim in and eventually ends up in a river loads of miles away. That brings us to the problem. My property is directly attached to what is essentially the only place anywhere near where we live that allows you to lay down right next to the water, as the rest of the side of the river is mostly made up of steep rocks or like dirt walls, whereas in my backyard it's essentially a little rock beach, if that makes sense. So ever since I moved in, I keep catching my neighbours, as in all my neighbours, not just one specific couple, and their kids, and sometimes even strangers, making use of this little rock beach, which would be fine, was it not for the fact that me and my girlfriend, who is staying with me right now, want to make use of it. Now on the one hand, I get it. It's getting hotter and hotter, and beach weather is on the horizon, or already here. And this little rock beach is essentially the dream of any person who likes to take a swim when it is hot, and likes to get some sun while still keeping away from people. Now every time I or my girlfriend want to make use of it and catch people there, I obviously send them away. And prior they listened and obviously went away, but recently people keep on arguing with us, stating there is plenty of space. There isn't. It's literally broad enough for like 8 people at most to lay down directly next to each other. So with distance in mind, 3 people max. Or that, it's sharing dude. Even have people claiming it's not a part of my property. It is, I checked. In fact, the bank opposite is almost mine. So yesterday, I had enough. I had another dude arguing with me after I told him to get off my property, and I told him that the next time I see him there, I will be calling the police for trespassing, and ever since I've told everyone else the same. Frankly, it's not the fact that I really mind people using it, it's the fact that so many people argue when I want to use it and send them away, which is causing this decision. But this is also resulting in people who listen all the time being the victim of this, as I don't want to have people think that it's fine that other people also use it. I could see why people would be attracted to it, but yeah, that's not an excuse. It is your property, so I don't see how you could be the arsehole in this situation at all. And if you want to use it on your property, absolutely. That makes you not the arsehole, but them the arsehole. And I'll put some signs up if you're allowed to, or something like that, to just keep people away from it. It must be really awkward having to do that on your own property, to go up to them and ask them to leave because you need to use your own goddamn property. How annoying is that? What do you guys think about this situation? And don't forget to vote in that top right hand corner. Our next story is from Throwaway Accounts. Am I the arsehole for cutting off my mother after I found out she lied for years about my father? My mum, 55 female, raised me by herself. I, 25 male, was always told that my dad, 57 male, never loved me and ran out on me, that he left us. Well, it turns out that I've been lied to for a long time. For the first time in over 20 years, my bio dad found me last year and contacted me. I was filled with rage but also curiosity, so I met up with him and he explained his side of the story. He said that he wanted custody of me and my mum had lied about why he left, that it was her who cheated on him and left him for a guy. This guy was in my life for the first few years, but I only heard stories of him. My mum told me that he was a good guy and that they met through mutual friends. I didn't know what to make of it until I confronted my mum in rage and she admitted that it was true. My dad did try to get custody and that it was her who cheated on him. Anyway, I was shown proof that this man is 100% my bio dad and we got closer. As I got closer to him over the year, it became apparent that my mum had outright lied about everything and filled my head with nonsense about him. As I attended therapy this year, I've finally been able to somewhat process this and have decided that I've had enough of my mum and her pack of lies. When I met with her, I said to her that I can't forgive her and that I want nothing to do with her. I said it's over and she began crying and breaking down, but I said it is what it is and got out. Then my aunt showed up at my door and called me an arsehole, and how could I do this to my mother? But how could she do this to me? Am I the arsehole? Man, that's got to be tough. To just think this guy's trying to process his entire life now. He's trying to work it all out again. And obviously that's why he's going to therapy. I don't think he should cut his mother completely out of his life. I'm not sure about that, but I think he should leave things open, but also at the same time give himself permission to do whatever he needs to do right now, because he's going to be processing a whole lot. What do you guys think of this story? Don't forget to comment below and don't forget to vote in that top right hand corner. Once again guys, thank you for being here, it's truly appreciated. If you did enjoy that video, there's another one on your screen right now. Click it, watch it, like, subscribe, it's all up to you. You choose what to do here. Much love to you and I will see you in the next one. Take care now. Goodbye.